I've been a full-time freelance writer for quite a few years now, but if I had the opportunity to start over and do things differently, I would change 5 things about the way I went about it. And I'm gonna go over those 5 things with you in this video so that you can avoid some of the pitfalls that I wasn't able to. So the first thing I would do differently is I would raise my rates much more quickly. The first client I ever got as a freelance writer paid me 1.5 cents per word, which now looking back is very, very low, but you have to start somewhere. And I was thrilled to have the work at the time. It was the first dollar I'd ever made online, which was a big deal to me at that point. So it was 1.5 cents per word, and it was a 1,000 word article. And I wrote that article and submitted it and got paid my first $15 ever online. I was over the moon about that. And even better, just a few hours later, the client read it and loved it and asked me to write another one. So again, I was thrilled. I wrote for that client for about 2 weeks, at which point I started looking for higher paying clients. And it was within a day or two that I found my first 3-cent per word client. So almost instantly, with barely any effort, I doubled what I was getting paid to write. Now I should have realized the power of that then, but I didn't. I was then thrilled to have a 3-cent per word client that would pay me $30 for every 1,000 words I wrote. And over the next couple of days, I looked for more clients who were willing to pay 3 cents per word so that I could ditch that 1.5 cent per word client and write exclusively for clients who paid double that. And I found them. So now I was writing part-time at 3 cents per word. But it wasn't for another couple of weeks that I realized that I could do that again. And so I started my search. And much like the first time, within a couple of days, I found my first 5-cent per word client. And I was over the moon. I had more than tripled my original rate, and it only took me a few weeks to get there with no prior writing experience. So just like I did when I found that first 3-cent per word client, I started looking for more clients that were willing to pay that 5-cent per word rate. And once again, I found them. After about 3 months, I had ditched the 1.5 cent per word client and the 3 cent per word clients and was at that point exclusively writing for 5 cents per word. Now, earning 5 cents per word might not seem like a lot, but at my writing rate, that's over $100,000 a year if I worked full-time. And once again, that was within 90 days of starting freelance writing. So naturally, I quit my dead-end job, my 9-to-5 job that I hated and wanted to leave for years before that. And once again, the same thing happened to me. It wasn't until a few months after that that I decided, hey, I can raise my rates again. And I got all of my 5-cent per word clients up to 8 cents per word with minimal pushback. So imagine just a couple of emails sent to your current clients could get you 1.5 times what you're earning. Why would you not send those emails? And for some reason, I got comfortable earning that 5 cents per word, and I didn't do it for months. At that point, I set a schedule for myself to raise my rates periodically and make sure that I'm always pushing myself to earn more. Mind you, that doesn't mean to work more. Raising your rates means you earn more doing the same exact amount of work. So I went from 5 cents per word to 8 cents to 12 cents to 15 to 22, and now I sit anywhere between 20 and 30 cents per word. Looking back though, I realized I could have done things much more quickly. I feasibly could have gotten to the $200,000 or even $300,000 a year mark if I had learned how to push for higher rates from the get-go. So if I had to start over, I would absolutely start with that 1.5 cent per word client again. You have to start somewhere, but within a week, I would be pushing for 3 cents. And within 2 more weeks, I'd be pushing for 5. And another 2, I'd be pushing for 8. I would sit down and figure out exactly what I needed to earn to leave my job and do freelancing full time. Then I would figure out the price per word I need to make that work for me with the number of hours I work. So currently I work 6 hours a day. I would figure out how many words do I write in an hour? Then divide the total salary that I want for the year by the number of hours I'm working a day and the number of words that I'm writing that day, and figure out what that target is. Get to that target within 6 months. That's what I would do differently if I was starting over. The second thing I would change if I had the opportunity to start again is I would push for core clients much earlier than I did. So a core client is what I call a client that's going to give you work over and over and over again. Every client is going to be different in freelance writing. Some are going to assign 1 article a week. Some are going to assign 1 a month. Some might even assign 1 a quarter. Those are filler clients. I call those filler clients because they fill in the gaps of the core clients. The core client is going to be the client that sends you 10,000 words a day if you can handle it, or 8,000 words a day, or 5,000 words a day, or whatever it is you're writing. Core clients have basically an unlimited amount of content they need published for their website, and when they find a core writer like you, they will pay you over and over and over again to write their content. So I currently have 6 clients. 2 of them make up 90% of the work I do every single day. So I mentioned I write for about 6 hours a day. 5.5 hours is dedicated to writing content that those 2 clients basically overload me with. One of the potential problems with freelance writing is that you don't get paid for any time you spend searching for clients, which means anytime you're looking for new work, you are missing out on money. That's where a core client comes in. A core client is going to have so much work to send you that you never have to spend that time looking for new clients. I've had these 2 current core clients for over 2 years now, and every single day, Monday through Friday, they assign enough work to take up my entire day. So I was fortunate enough to realize the miracle, basically, of core clients early on. Within just a couple of months, I had my first core client that was assigning me 5 to 6 hours of work every single day. But if I had to start over, I would look for them even earlier, and I might even pass up on opportunities for those filler clients that really aren't going to contribute much to your salary. Especially as a beginner, it's very tempting to take any work that you can get, but I really would focus my efforts on finding those core clients that are going to prevent me from having to waste my time looking for new work. I will mention here that there's a link in the description to a free training video for freelance writers and prospective freelance writers that's going to teach you how to do all of these things that I'm outlining in this video in depth. So if you want to learn how to raise your rates, how to find those core clients, click the link in the description below for the free training video. The third thing I would change if I had the opportunity to start over is I would make a portfolio site way earlier than I did. A lot of freelance writers depend on job boards and content mills like Upwork and ProBlogger. And while those sites definitely have a place for all freelance writers, they're not where your bread and butter is going to come from. Remember how I mentioned before that you don't get paid for any time you spend looking for new clients? Well, a portfolio site is going to help the clients come to you. So basically, a portfolio site is a website that you make for your freelance writing business. It can be your personal name, it could be a business name, whatever you want it to be. But that website explains your services and it shows prospective clients work that you've done in their industry in the past. So yes, you can spend hours looking for new clients, or days or weeks even, but wouldn't it be better if clients would come to you? So imagine the owner of a website needs content written for their site, and what website owner doesn't? They're going to go online and they're going to look for freelance writers in the X industry. And what are they going to find? They're going to find your site that not only pitches you as an expert, but it also includes links to published pieces that you've written on topics that they want written for on their own website. How much better is that for you and for the client than you responding to a job board ad as a generalist and saying, yeah, I've done some writing, here are some samples. It is night and day. The best part about a portfolio site is once it's set up, you never have to touch it again. You throw your email or contact information on there and clients will come to you looking for work. And those aren't low-paying clients. You can post your rates on your portfolio site. And if a client that comes to your site doesn't like those rates, they leave. But if a client's comfortable paying those, they reach out to you, not the other way around. So if I had the opportunity to start over, I would build my portfolio site within a month of starting freelance writing. A lot of people wait until they have a year or more of experience behind them. There's no need to do that. I would make that site within a month or as soon as I had published articles to put on there. The fourth thing I would change if I had the opportunity to do things differently is I would ditch the job boards way earlier than I did. So I mentioned before that sites like Upwork and ProBlogger are great, especially for beginning freelance writers. However, most of them are a race to the bottom. There are hundreds of other freelance writers on there, probably willing to take less money than you are to do worse work, but the client doesn't really care because they're not looking for that high quality writing. So a lot of people that talk about freelance writing will knock those content mills and job boards. I think they're great. In fact, if I were starting over, I would still start on Upwork. Here's exactly what I would do. Get your first writing gig on Upwork, no matter what the pay is. It could be 1 cent, it could be 1.5, 2, 3, whatever you can find. Get it, write it, knock it out of the park. Write 2 to 3 more articles for that client if possible. If not, just find another job on Upwork. I assure you there's going to be one. As soon as you have 3 pieces of published work, even if your name isn't on it, move to ProBlogger. So ProBlogger is a job board, and clients looking for freelance writers will post job ads on there and ask for freelance writing services. Most of them say if you don't have published work online, don't apply. But when you do submit those samples, how many do you think they ask for? Usually 3, which is why I would recommend staying on Upwork until you have exactly 3 published articles and then immediately move to ProBlogger. Once I was on ProBlogger, I would move to up my rates and do the exact same amount of work but get paid more for it. Based on the average pay on a site like ProBlogger, I think it's reasonable to get up to about 8 cents per word. After that, you're kind of pushing it, and you're probably not going to find those core clients at higher rates on ProBlogger that I was talking about before. However, once you get to that 5 to 8 cent range on ProBlogger, ditch the job boards. I stayed on ProBlogger for a couple of months before I moved to other avenues, and I would say after a month of freelance writing, get off the job boards entirely. Instead, you're going to want to focus on LinkedIn, cold pitches, and getting clients from your portfolio site, provided you followed my advice earlier in the video. So the beauty of LinkedIn and cold pitches is that there's no competition. There are hundreds and hundreds of writers applying to jobs on Upwork, ProBlogger, and all those other content mills and job boards. But how many freelance writers do you think are finding a company, maybe one that's local to you, reaching out to them and pitching their services? Probably none, because no one knows how to do it correctly. So if you can learn how to use LinkedIn and cold pitches and your portfolio site to your advantage, then ditch the job boards, because those 3 sources of freelance writing clients are going to pay way higher rates. All of the clients that I've gotten over 12 cents per word have been from those 3 sources. So within a month, I would get off of the job boards and move to those. And the 5th thing I would do differently if I had to start over is I would make time for myself earlier. When I first started freelance writing, the money is what I was after, and I definitely found it. Within 3 months, I was earning $100,000 a year. Within a year, I was earning $200,000, and within a year and a half, I was earning $300,000 a year. The money is incredible. It's better than I ever thought it would be, but I was surprised to find that that's not the be-all end-all of freelance writing. The best part about it is that you can free up your time by working less so that you can do the things that you enjoy instead of working your life away. In the beginning, I would push myself to get higher paying clients, to get more clients, to do more work per day. Some days I was writing for 10 hours straight with basically no breaks, and that's just no way to live, especially when you have a career, a liberating career like freelance writing. Here's what I would do if I were starting over. I would give myself 6 months. A 6-month timeline is reasonable for you to build up enough clients to leave your job and start working fewer than 40 hours a week and earn more money doing it. So I would start with those low-paying jobs, 1.5 cents per word, but bump it up. Find clients that are going to double or triple that within a month. It is absolutely possible, and I've helped new freelance writers with no experience or education do the exact same thing. Once you reach the point where you feel comfortable leaving your job to move to freelance writing, figure out the max salary that you want. For me, that was $300,000 a year. Then you can take that number and use the average speed at which you write content for your clients and figure out how many words per year you need to write. Divide that by 50, giving yourself 2 weeks vacation. Divide that by 5, and then divide that by however many hours you want to work per day. For me, it was 6. For you, it might be 8. It might be 4. It might be 1. I don't know. Whatever it is, figure out the rate you need to earn to work the numbers you want to work and still earn the income you want to earn. Because that's the best part about freelance writing. You can say, realistically, I want to earn $300,000 a year, $250, $200, whatever it is, working 4 to 6 hours a day. That is possible with freelance writing. What other job or career can you say that in? Certainly none that I know of. So that's what I would do. I would figure out the rate I need to earn per word, working the number of hours I want to work per week, and push for that rate. And I believe that that's possible within a year, provided you have realistic expectations. So those are the 5 things that I would do differently if I personally had the opportunity to start over. I found immense success in freelance writing very quickly. Within just 3 months, I was earning $100,000 a year. But there are still things that I would change if I could do it over again. And hopefully you can take these 5 tips and accelerate your success in freelance writing even more quickly. So hopefully this video was helpful to you. If it was, leave a like and subscribe. I have a ton more content coming out just like this to help direct you toward that immense success you're looking for in freelance writing. And don't forget that I have the link in the description to the free training video. You can go check that out now, totally free, and it's going to teach you how to implement these tips that I've just gone over, and it has a ton more information to help you find success. Thanks so much for joining me, and I'll see you in the next video.